Hello, happy Sunday. Haven't done a video for a while because I've been busy focusing on securing a new contract. But also, I was busy preparing and recording my success story on Pain Free You with Dan Buglio. So if you're, TMS, mind, body pain, perceived danger pain, if that's your vibe and something you're interested in, pop over to his channel and subscribe and have a listen. I have played it back and cringed all the way through it. But I suspect most people do that when they see themselves on video. Anyways, but I've also been a little bit unwell these past few days. Just picked up a very mild bug, and it's just left me feeling really sort of like low energy, low vibe, and a little bit delicate stomach, which is fine. And I went out for dinner last night and I had a few things that I wouldn't normally eat, like pasta. I never eat pasta, and it's just left me feeling really bloated. I can tell now because I'm pretty much 80-20 clean diet and quite picky, discerning about what I put in my body. If I have something that I wouldn't normally have or that just doesn't vibe with me anymore, I can tell it affects me negatively the next day. And yeah, I'm just feeling the after effects of that. It was a lovely restaurant, there's nothing wrong with it, but it was just food that I don't eat anymore. So you might be asking, why did I go? I think it was we couldn't get in where we wanted to, and it was a bit of a panic buy, and the menu was quite limited. I think it was more for vegans and vegetarians. Anyway, putting all of that aside, so I was just feeling a bit today, and so it would have been so easy for me to have said I don't feel like doing anything and not go to the gym, but I did. And I've been to the gym, I've done my upper body, and say I was feeling, in terms of low vibe, about an 8 out of 10 this morning. I'm now like a 4, so that's progress. And what I did while I was in the gym as well, so it isn't just about moving my body, but it's also about lifting my vibe. So I just went onto podcasts and searched for Bob Proctor, and I've just played about 3 of his podcasts or people interviewing him while I was doing my exercise, and totally lifted my vibe, which got me to thinking of where I got to in the breast cancer story. So where we got to was I just had surgery, and I'd made this commitment to myself that I was going to walk every day, which I mean, I walked a lot anyway, because I couldn't do anything else apart from the 3 times daily rehabilitation exercises they gave me, which I was doing diligently, of course. And you might be wondering why I'm walking up and down this road. It's because it's the sunny side of the street and I like it. And so I thought, right, okay, I've got all this time and such a vast array of podcasts that one can listen to. But I just thought, I want to use this time wisely, and I want to listen to things that are high vibe, or where I'm learning something, or something that just raises how I feel. Because I was already feeling scared, and I was going through, at that time, a TMS episode, and the panic attacks were there. And the world felt like a very scary place for me at that time. So I wanted to do everything I could to make myself feel as safe as possible. And I've talked about that, and I'll probably bang on about that many times in the future, about things I do to create safety in my environment and my body. And so I thought some people might be interested in if I shared some of the podcasts and perhaps some of the books as well that I did, or that listened to and read during that time, which really helped me, because I was particularly keen on learning more about positive mindset, nutrition, exercise. People call it hacking your health. I hate that term, hack, because it makes it sound like you just, I don't know, I just don't like the term. But things that would increase my vitality and just really help me heal holistically in the best way. And so, just off the top of my head, some of the podcasts that I was listening to at that time. So Chris Beat Cancer, really good. I listened to an enormous amount of those, and I found I learned quite a lot about the lymph through that as well. There was an episode with a guy, oh God, and it was on the tip of my tongue, who talks about the big 6 areas of lymph. Now, obviously, because I had 2 lymph removed, I knew it was important for me to massage that part of my body. So I was really interested in that episode. But it's the big 6 lymph, and I'll cover that in another session. So yeah, Chris Beat Cancer, learned a lot from that. I had come across Marissa Peer, and so she doesn't have her own podcast, I don't think, but I sort of searched for anything I could find where she was being interviewed, because oh my god, her mindset just lifts me right up. So I learned an enormous amount from her. I'd really like to meet her one day, because she was such an inspiration for me and still is. So yeah, Marissa Peer. I went through a lot of Diary of a CEO, but I picked out all of the ones about health, mindset. So I think he drops 2 episodes a week, I think. So yeah, did a lot of his. Let me think, who else? Kelly Noonan Gore's Heal. Listened to an awful lot of her podcasts, and I came across Peter Crone from her podcast. He didn't have his own then at that time, but again, I did the same thing. I researched any time he'd been interviewed and listened to all of those. I also I'd found Davinia Taylor of Will Powders at that time, and I think she interviewed the Glucose Goddess, so I learned a lot from her. So those were a couple of the podcasts that I was listening to and sort of rotating. Anything with Wayne Dyer, so Hay House. I downloaded one of his meditations, but anything I could get my hands on for Wayne Dyer. Bob Proctor, and who else? Neville Goddard, there's another one. And so I think that kept me going for about, oh God, there's some of them I don't listen to anymore, but those were the sort of the main ones that I just kept, and anybody I found, oh God, I'm rambling, anybody I found that I really liked, who was being interviewed, I'd see if they had their own podcast or if they'd been interviewed by somebody else. And I mean, that's what I've just done in the gym. I've just blasted myself with about 3 Bob Proctor interviews just to lift my spirits, and it's worked. I'm feeling a lot better. So yeah, podcasts are, when I was recovering from the cancer surgery, was a massive part of my mindset shift, and I'm sure there's loads of people I've missed there and I should have shared. And I said I'd do books, didn't I? So I'm going to run out of time. And also I won't be able to remember them all, so what I'll do is I'll make a list and I'll get some of the books, and then I'll do another video and share all of those. But that really helped me, because I could walk, I could get fresh air, and I was like shifting my mindset. And what I was very particular about was I wouldn't listen to anything that made me feel negative, anything that made me feel angry or upset. I thought, I'm not available for that, which is why I think I've said before, I'm very careful about not listening or watching the news before I go to bed. But anyway, so that's off the top of my head, just some of my some of the podcasts I listen to. Okay, I'll stop rambling now.